my situation will change someday. Maybe not right now, maybe not today, but someday it will. That is all I know. It's not even something that I know. It's just something that I'm saying that probably was regurgitated from someone or somewhere else. And if I were to tell you how I really feel, I wouldn't even know where to begin, because I don't really have the capacity to feel in the space that I live in. And it's always been that way since the time I was born. Because I'm living in the house that I've lived in from ages 1 through 18, my entire childhood. And I wasn't really able to feel during those years. The one time I remember crying was probably around the age of, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, when I opened the garage door and saw, I'm not going to describe it in detail, but let's just say that my first cat that I ever had as a child was killed. And I remember not quite knowing how to process that. And I knew that I should feel sad. And I did feel sad. I felt very upset. But also I knew that it wasn't really okay to have those kinds of feelings. So I remember walking slowly back up to my bedroom. I was kind of in a little bit of shock. And sitting on the stairs, 1 or 2 or 3, 4 steps up the stairs, and letting a few tears out. And it was almost like a mimicking of being sad. Like, I know that I feel very sad inside, and I also know that I'm not allowed to express this. But I'm going to let a little bit of that out just to show the world, and so that my cat knows that I really did care about her. But other than that, there weren't really any times that I can remember during those years, other than earlier childhood, which I don't remember, that I was able to cry or have emotions like that. Just was not something that was available to me. So I'm in that environment still now. And when I'm in this environment, it's the house that literally, you could call it, quote, the house my father built. I think there's a book maybe titled that, but it's something of that nature. I mean, he didn't build it with his own hands, but this house was actually built when I was 1 year old from nothing, from dirt and sticks. And what can you do with these kinds of situations, really? You can't, you could tear it down, you could try to build a new one, but it's going to end up just looking like the old one. It's a staggeringly, frighteningly challenging situation. And I'm just looking out the window, there's a car coming up the driveway, and one of my grandmother's many caretakers, they're in and out all day, every day. Sad situation, keeping someone alive well past their expiration date, as we do with lots of old people these days, thanks to modern medicine, but also thanks to lining the pockets of a lot of other people with lots and lots of cash. That's fun, but all to give someone poor quality of life for many years, and just incredible burden on all the people around them. Sad. I felt that way about myself too when I became ill and disabled. What a burden. But because of my age, because I'm seemingly young, I feel like I should stick around for a little bit longer, you know. But it's a pretty somber kind of situation. Pretty sad situation. I don't even feel good about making videos, and I don't feel good about talking about myself, my private life, or any of those things, especially from living in this house where everything is about that. It's all about that. It's all about that. Not about this. It's not about this at all. It's all about I don't know what it's about, but it's certainly not about this. Whatever it is that my family, whatever it is that my parents are interested in, it's certainly not about this, whatever this is. This is not what they're interested in. So I'm just kind of recording this in their space, in this space, maybe as a, it's like a, not as a protest. It's like a, you know what, I'm here too. You know what, I exist too. It's, what's so unfortunate now is that I have this channel and some of my family knows about it, so I can't really talk about things that will be considered sensitive, private matters, which I'd love to talk about. I'd love to. No one talks about those things in my family. No one talks about those things. Never. Unspeakable. Impossible to talk about. And no one has ever moved on from those things. People are stuck in the past. People live in the past. And I want to move on. I want to let go. I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want to be stuck here with all of them who seemingly want to be, either want to be or can't or need to be or have to be stuck here. And I don't want to be part of that. It's not for me. I'm the black sheep, right? Not really, but I play the role. I play the role that's assigned to me because I can play any role that there is to play. And in this kind of dysfunctional situation, there has to be a black sheep or a scapegoat for it to dynamically function properly. Without that, the whole thing would just evaporate. So I play the role as best as I can, as ill-fitting as that role is for me and for who I am as a person and a personality. I will play it to the best of my ability because I like to try and put my all into the things that I do. And I'm not a very good black sheep. I'm not a very good scapegoat. I'm not a good fall guy. It's just not, it's not in me. But I'm trying my best to make it work for the people around me because it's what they need to feel okay about themselves. And it makes me, I don't really even get angry about it. It's the way that my family dynamic is that everyone feels like they need to make this big sacrifice, like they're making a big sacrifice for the other people in the family. No one is really living for themselves. They're living for some disembodied ideal of a family that does not actually exist. It is a make-believe, ritualistic tradition at this point that doesn't resemble much of anything in reality, as far as I can tell. But that is the mental framework which I find myself living within, and because of that, I will embody the role that makes the most sense to embody at that time. Where in the past, for example, one of the roles that I had to embody was, oh, that's Charles. Well, Charles always figures everything out. He can always figure things out for himself. Meanwhile, everyone else in the family was really embroiled in being up each other's ass, is what they call it, the family dynamics. And everyone was always in each other's business at all times. And Charles was just figuring out his own thing because he had the capacity to do that. That's the character I was playing. When my brother got sick and my parents spent their entire life savings trying to save him and his life, that was probably almost 20 years ago or something at this point. And I was young and I needed just as much help as anyone else did, but because I'm that guy who could just figure it all out on their own, I just did that and just separated myself from my family. So everything was about him. Everything went to him, my brother, and nothing was about me and nothing went to me. And it's kind of always been that way. For some reason, my family has always viewed me as this really strong-willed, independent, they can figure everything out for themselves. My whole family, not just my parents, but all of them. So I just said, okay, that's the role you guys want me to play. That's the role I'll play. Makes sense for you guys, makes sense for me. That's fine. I'll play any role. And it's all for the community. It's all for trying to maintain the balance of the integrity of the community. So I have really tried to just live in this completely non-selfish way. Unfortunately, that has ended up really hurting me in ways that I couldn't have possibly known, because I was a child at the time and didn't grasp the complexity and the weight, the heaviness of what I was doing. But someone always has to be the scapegoat or the black sheep in any dysfunctional system. Most of us live in dysfunctional family systems. Most, not all. Some people have healthy families. I don't, never have. Don't even know what it would feel like. Probably never will. But with that, we just have to find a sense of acceptance. And for me too, like, I've had to slowly morph into this more and more of like a sort of more of a dynamic personality, but also acknowledging the fact that I'm an asshole sometimes. I'm actually an asshole, like I'm a jerk. And it's not really who I am, but I've had to become that person. And acknowledging that and owning that and accepting that and recognizing that the other people in the family dynamic won't acknowledge that in themselves, can't, because it's so far away from what they view themselves as. They could not possibly realize, oh, wow, me too, I'm an asshole. No, it would be a shattering to their sense of self or personality. So they just say, no, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I'm a good person. I'm only a good person. You never admit to someone else that you're a jerk. That requires a lot of like honesty, I guess. And that's me. I'm a jerk. I'm an asshole. It's just part of who I am. It's not who I am, but it's what I've done, how I've acted. And we can't blame, right? Because like I've acted that way because of what the people around me said and did to me, around me, because they were just as troubled as I was. But not acknowledging that, it's like the whole victim and victimizer thing, which is not really a very effective way of understanding ourselves in our social framework. I was gonna say fabric, but whatever. I don't see myself as a victim or a victimizer, even though I may have played those roles, but I do say, hey, I'm an asshole. Hey, I'm a jerk. I'm not a nice person. Sometimes I am, but not as a rule. And to strive for some kind of idealistic, religious type of goodness is, before you've actually embodied that, is just another exercise in hubris, and it's doomed to fail. Eventually you'll realize, oh wow, what have I done? I've made some mistakes. And people who are alcoholics have a built-in system for this if they go to 12-step, because one of those steps has to do with acknowledging the things and how you've wronged other people and then making those amends, and for myself, it's very rare, in the family dynamic I've been a part of, that there's been any making of amends. People have gotten what they've gotten and then just held on to it and then ran with it. There's not any sense of like responsibility, ownership, reciprocity in redistributing or balancing that weight of the supposed blame or responsibility. But so all I can do is just be in the space that I'm in and deal with what I've been dealt with. Deal with what I've been dealt. But the refrigerator's still on, and it's making me, probably influencing how I'm talking on this video, making me feel irritable, restless, angry, annoyed, frustrated. That's just a reality. It's not separate. Like when that fridge is off and it's quiet here. And it's not that noise bothers me, for example, like I'm in the middle of a city, right, in an apartment. That noise and the hum, that doesn't bother me. But that particular refrigerator does, because it's got this particular sound that whatever that pitch is, it just gets in my head. And when it turns off and it's quiet, my thoughts change, my feelings change. Now, rather than trying to exert control over my thoughts and feelings, which is how I lived my whole life, I am the master of my own domain, my mind. I can control my mind. It's not true. You cannot control your mind. All you can do is accept and work with the environment, because that sound is going to be there regardless. I have nowhere else I can go. It's cold outside, so I'm not going anywhere. All that I can do is say, you know what, if that sound makes me angry, then I'm going to be angry. If I choose to record a video right now, I'm going to be angry while I do it. I could take that as a sign. Every time that I record a video, there's these particular loud sounds that come up. Hey, maybe you should stop recording videos then. And then what? It's like life is trying to, it feels like it's trying to like rein me in and beat me down and say, don't do anything. Don't even try. Don't waste your energy. You need to conserve your energy for the times to come, because this is not the fight that you need to be fighting, trying to make sure you get your voice heard on YouTube so that you don't fade into oblivion, right? Because a couple of times that I had near-death experiences and I was starting to feel like I have no record of myself. My own daughter would never even have a clue as to where I was, what I was doing if I just died. She'd just be left wondering for the rest of her life, and I thought that's not okay. At least I'll try to just start getting my voice out there. And the thing is like, my instinct is to protect and to guard and not waste any energy at all right now. Because there's going to be something coming in the future where I'm going to need it all. I'm going to need every ounce of that energy to meet that situation. And I got to be real careful about what I'm doing right now in the preparation for that. And it's hard. It's hard to just say no to everything, all activity, and just say no and just stop. That's where I'm being asked to go, is, no more of this YouTube channel, no more for now, who knows, no more of anything, is just completely stop, completely let go of all external striving. And I've been on that precipice for 17 years, and I have refused to let go. What can I say? I've refused. I've just refused the call. They called me, God called me up 17 years ago and said, here's the plan, this is what you need to do. And I said, are you fucking out of your mind? Click, hung up the phone. And like, you can't ignore a call like that, but you can postpone it for if I'm living proof, you can postpone it for a long time. I mean, it's almost cost me my life, and all well-being and all quality of life. It's almost cost me everything. I've lost pretty much everything, and it has not been in any way, shape, or form a beautiful or spectacular journey for me. It's been agonizing, terrible, but there is still a part of me that wants to hold on to this. I like the way I am now. I like this person that I am here. I like my body that I have. I like the personality that I developed. Even if this personality that I developed wasn't really me, but was a response to a traumatic environment. This personality was a defensive mechanism, the whole thing, pretty much. There are parts of it that come through that are genuine, but the vast majority of this personality is just a defensive mechanism. And I'm so attached to it. I don't want to lose it. And I don't want to say goodbye to the YouTube channel that I started, because it's like I had to do something to get myself out there, I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be heard. I don't want to be completely alone. But at the end of the day, we're completely alone. And, well, why don't we just get used to it? Like, fully, completely get used to it. Like, the fridge is quiet now. I feel way calmer. I feel happy. I feel at peace. So the environment has changed. My mind has changed. My feelings, which are part of my mind, have changed. I feel totally peaceful. Sure, there's still a rage demon deep inside of me, but it's not active because it's not being met with that buzzing of the fridge. So these things are just part of us. They're not separate. They're not something we're going to banish or change or whatever. We just have to accept it. And saying goodbye is hard. I'm not saying this is the end of my YouTube channel. I'm just saying like that there is a lot of resistance around doing this. This is a long and meandering video, and I would be genuinely surprised if more than 1 or 2 people watch the entire thing, because if I post this unedited, I couldn't even begin to tell you what it's about. I don't even know how I would title the video or make little subheading chapters for this video, because it's so all over the place. And I don't want to go back and listen to what I just said. And I feel like it's probably not that pleasant to listen to, because my state of mind and body is not feeling very pleasant. And the way that my voice sounds, the pitch, the melody, the notes, they probably don't sound really that pleasant, is my guess. I could be wrong, but I think that's probably true. I'm gonna I always feel like I need to explain myself to the audience. That's you. Oh. Yeah. I don't know, man. Who's man? What man? What are you talking about? This is not comfortable sitting in this chair, being in front of this camera. It's not comfortable. What should I do? What could I do? What is possible? Scary. What's possible? I'm like, that's that emoji that, that's, the emoji I'm talking about. What's possible? Oh my God, how could you ask that? How could you ask me that? What's possible? Why would you ask don't ask me that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's possible. Possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. Think about that. If you really acknowledge that fact, and you're not scared and you're not a little bit overwhelmed, you're not even listening to me. The possibilities are endless. How do we cope with that? We can close our eyes, pretend it's not true, and just move on, and just do it. Just move on with the activity that is right in front of us. That's how we cope with it. That's a really common strategy that I think works pretty well most of the time. If you're like me though, and you're aware of this and you're too aware of it, you kind of have to integrate it. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to ignore it and move on. Because it's never going to leave you alone. It's always going to try to open up, just like the ground will open beneath your feet, like as if a crack was just opened in the earth and you're falling down. It's endless. The possibilities are endless. We live in an infinite universe. An infinite universe. Not even something you could comprehend. It's beyond all understanding. It's beyond the grasp of this mental experience. Beyond the words that I'm saying. It's beyond the emotions that are arising in my body right now. It's beyond the sounds that I'm hearing with my ears right now. And it's nothing that you can think about. There's no processing it. There's no reflecting on it or strategizing around it or holding it. There's no holding it. You can let go. That's really all that there is. And movements will happen. Feelings will come. Thoughts will come. Noises will happen. Sights will appear. Smells and tastes and all kinds of things will reveal themselves. And you can't hold any of it. You can't keep any of it. You can't touch any of it. You can't connect to any of it because this is not even a logical explanation right now. You know, I use the word because, and you think, oh, now he's going to say something that's going to bring it all together and I'm going to have an aha moment. But you're not. There's no aha moment. There's no moment. There's no moment, and there isn't also a moment that isn't a moment. And what I mean by that is that whatever you're thinking about is not what this is. Whatever I'm thinking about is not what it is. Whatever I'm trying to say is not what it is. For whatever reason, why I'm keeping my eyes open and not blinking, because I'm trying to fix the experience. Like I'm trying to hold it in place. Like it's another way of trying to attach or grasp to it. It's why oftentimes you'll see like people who've been meditating or spiritual practitioners or yogis or things like oftentimes they'll look at you and they won't blink and their eyes are just wide open and you think, wow, they must be really connected, right? Maybe they're actually just trying to hold their experience in place because they've reached some understanding in their mind that they think is something to do with enlightenment, maybe it's called, or waking up enlightenment. I don't know, something like that. And they're like, oh, well, if I stay like this and keep my eyes open and stare at people like this, maybe I'm going to feel it. But it's not true. It's not true. You have to blink. You have to breathe. Things go dark and things go light and things go dark, things go light. It's just normal life. It's not, you can't fix the experience like that. And it's true, like they'll train. Well, I went to a monastery many years ago. They'll train you where like you keep your eyes a little bit open, all right? Don't keep them closed, keep them a little bit open and you don't blink very much and you have this view. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into the details of this. It's really irrelevant, right? I'm going off to the weeds. What does that even mean? The weeds, going off to the weeds. Hi weeds, how are you? Oh, good. I'm lost, right? No one knows what I am talking about. My butt hurts because I'm sitting on this chair for too long. Everyone knows what that feels like, right? You all know that. My butt hurts, you know that. And also you know the expression probably butt hurt, which is just emotionally upset. It's slang. But I'm talking about butt hurt as in the physical gravity that's pulling my butt bones, what they're called the sits bones, down into the hard plastic stool that I'm sitting on, bench that I'm sitting on, is creating a lot of pressure. You all know what that feels like, right? So why is it that you don't know the thing that I was talking around before, this mysterious enlightenment thing? Why don't you know that one? Because you can't. You can't know it. It's not something like this experience of feeling your butt. It's not something like that. It's not, it is that. That is the experience of what it is, right? But it's not something that I can tell you about or that I can tell myself about. It's not something that I can experience. Because, again, I just use the word because. This is not a logical argument. Experience trumps thinking, trumps everything. Experience is it. That's it. Being. That's it. So the experience that I'm having right now of trying to grasp this thing, and I haven't had any water in a while and my mouth is really dry and my butt hurts because I've been sitting for too long and I'm not breathing well, so I feel really tense and anxious in my chest. I feel a lot of unpleasant feelings, actually. Wow. unpleasant, you know what I mean? Constriction. And that's all gravy. That's all good. That's all fine. And it's not, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, I am aware of the awakening, but I'm not able to share it because it's mine. And it's really something that is not transmittable, except maybe it is. Nothing that I say is actually going to be true. You can't get stuck anywhere. You can't get stuck. You just can't. You got to loosen up. You got to loosen up, right? It's like you cannot get stuck. Ideas, all these ideas about it are wrong. All of the ideas about it are, it's, the words that I'm saying are not like a logical, like I keep saying, they're not a logical argument. I'm getting stuck in the words, and I'm getting stuck in the brain rot, I guess. It's not even the right term. But what I'm trying to do is move things around. I'm trying to move the energy around, right? I'm trying to move it around. Get it unstuck. Does it need to go this way, maybe? Does it need to go this way? I don't know. Does it need to go this way? I don't know. Every movement you do is a different thing. That sounds crazy. I sound like a crazy person. People are watching me right now and they're like, why are they waving their hands in the air like that? That's pretty freaking weird. I need to figure out what they're doing. What are they doing? Huh? Is that something that I know, or is it something I don't know? It's like, you don't know. You don't know. I could do some really weird things like this, and you're not going to know what the hell's going on. It's like some freaking... Yeah, there's no... but there's only a limited amount of like more... You don't know. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's an infinite amount of things, and there's also a limited range of things. There's an infinite and there's limitations. Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop. So once I can stop freaking out about that and just shut up and just breathe. But I really got to get going though. This is probably the longest and worst video that I've ever done, and I'm feeling fucking terrible about how it is right now. Like, I'm not breathing. I cannot even fucking breathe right now. Because it's like looking at the camera, it just makes me tense up and I can't relax. I don't think this is for me, guys. I don't think I'm not supposed to be doing this. This is not comfortable. I'm not a YouTuber. I tried for 10 months. I tried. Should I give it the old, no, I'm not going to quit, but this is not me. This whole YouTube thing, it's not me. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. And if you're watching this still, like, maybe you're a little bit of a, I don't know, masochist or sadist or something, that you're like into like negativity, because I feel negative. I feel like I have a negative attitude putting that out here. And maybe that's just how I feel. Maybe that's not what this is, but it's like I feel so negative, so, and I just want to like, what do I do with that? You know what I mean? I want to scream, but I can't because I've had a canker sore on my goddamn in my tonsil for like more than a month and a half. It's like a sore throat, but it just never goes away. So I can't scream. I would love to scream though. That would feel good. But with... Did I just... Guys, can you just figure it out? Can you just like... I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you anything. I have nothing to say. I'm not going to keep explaining myself and trying to justify my existence. Maybe there's something else I could do with the YouTube, but this ain't it. I'll go back to doing music. That's what I'll do. I enjoyed that a lot. Let me see if I could just put this camera over here, and maybe we'll do a little music instead. See how that comes through. Halitosis. A college education, but I've got no degree. Everything's dumb and everything is dumb and everything is... This is fucking bullshit. This is absolute fucking bullshit. I hate making videos. I hate being on camera. I hate all of it. Unironically, that was probably one of the worst things I've ever played. Just absolute. That was literally actually shit. You can't force it. Like, because I need to express myself. Here's the problem with it. Here's the fucking problem. I'm going to tell you what the problem with it is that, no, I need to be able to see. God damn it. I'm just going to go on a little rant here real quick. So to actually be able to make music, is this focusing? Hello? Yeah. To actually be able to make music, you have to be able to express yourself emotionally. You have to feel free to express your fucking emotions. And guess what? I can't do that here. I'm doing it right now, but it's only anger. And I fucking hate this place. I fucking hate this place. Seriously. I hate this place. I fucking hate it. Now, you would think, all right, like in my brain, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, no, you had a good childhood. You had a good upbringing. Your family was great. Everything was wonderful. It's like, well, then what the fuck am I doing here at 40 years old? I'm about to turn 40. I'm not 40 yet. I'm 39. Give me a break. What the fuck am I doing here at 39 years old, living with my parents, being broken down and disabled and fucking raging out angry? And I've been like, this is not a new thing, right? I have such unresolved bullshit with my family of origin. Like, it didn't come out of nowhere, right? I'm not an actual crazy person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not. I can fully become present in myself and act as sane as I need to. It's really easy to do. And you know, that is honestly a form of violence. That's a form of, because what it is the way that the quote, I'm going to go on a weird little tangent, the way the patriarchal regime has treated women, which is that when women are being emotional, hysterical, irrational, but really all they're doing is expressing truth. And then the men are like, no, that doesn't fit into our plan. You're crazy. Please stop. You don't exist. None of that is real. You know, it's just this tamping down and controlling of that emotion and pushing it down and pushing it away. And it's fucking bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit. Oh God, it makes me so like livid. If it would help, I would tear it all down. I'm stuttering here now because I'm afraid they're going to hear me. Oh, they're going to hear me because guess what? I need to make a new YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to make a new channel. Fuck this. I'm starting over. I'm making a new channel because guess what? My family or people from my family knew about the old channel and I can't actually say what I need to say on the channel. So guess what, guys? All of you subscribers from my old channel, you're not here. And I'm angry now. And I'm just going to make a new channel. And I don't even care if anyone watches it, but I'm going to tell the goddamn truth. See, that's the thing, is I tried to tell the truth about myself, my life, my situation, like it was, you know, a diary or psychotherapy for myself. And I'm literally living in what feels like a prison right now. And I'm afraid that people are going to hear me. And I'm not saying in a crazy way. I mean, I'm living in my parents' house as an adult. And, oh shoot, my battery's about to run out. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to do this for real this time. I'm actually going to tell the truth about everything in my life. And I'm not going to be afraid because guess what? None of my family is going to be able to know about this channel. They won't hear about it. They won't see it. And that's going to be liberating. That is what I need to do with this channel. I mean, well, anyway, stay tuned.